Welcome to Journey with Josh. I'm Josh Ubaldi, and we're taking you on a journey of a lifetime into marketing and advertising. Together, we'll solve every mystery about marketing you've ever come across so you can get all the leads and sales you want, and best of all, how to grow a business you truly love. Welcome to Journey with Josh. I am Josh Ubaldi, and I am excited to work with you through the beautiful experience of great advertising and marketing. And of course, as a reminder, all great advertising is the final result of great marketing. So we're here to make sure we cover both of those things for you. Now, today is a very, very special, fairly short and sweet Q&A episode. So I'm going to dive right in here. And this question is from you, Kelly. So Kelly, thank you for your question. And Kelly says, short and sweet, what do you think makes someone good at advertising? I love a question like this. And so to answer your question, Kelly, I want to tack on a little bit at the end so that it may be more meaningful for people in a little bit of a different way. So I'm going to say that this question, at the essence and heart of it is, what do you think makes someone good at advertising effectively and especially cost effectively? Because at the end of the day, keep this in mind. Whoever has the largest budget can blow a lot of advertising and finally get somewhere where it works. My guess is going to be, because I've worked with so many people, is most people have a finite budget. They don't have an endless budget to spend. So I want to think about this question of what makes you good at advertising with budget in mind so that you can get the most results at the least cost, right? Most for the least. It's kind of like Target. When I go in Target, I feel like I always make fun of it where it's like, expect less, pay more. Actually, of course, it's expect more, pay less. But at the end of the day, that's what we're looking to do here. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a couple different ways, and let's see if they surprise you at all. You'll be good at advertising if you really love to plan a trip, and then when you're on your trip, you love to follow the plan, but even more, you really embrace and love all those spontaneous and surprising experiences you get to have along the way. What I'm really saying here is, you're probably a planner, you probably like planning, you're probably pretty good at planning, but you are not handcuffed to your plan. If things go a little awry, if surprises happen, if you make cool discoveries that weren't just part of the plan, right? I'm the best person actually to plan a trip, but I would never ever go on a package tour, for example. And I say that now, never say never. And if package tours are your thing, I'm not dissing it. I like more flexibility. So if you love to plan something and you're really good at it, but you really love having flexibility within that, and you love to discover, I'm going to say you're going to be really, really great at advertising. Because advertising, like I said right at the start, which is to say, great ads are really, really easy if it's the last step of great marketing. So your ads can become really easy if you've planned the marketing to get there, and then you have a basic plan for your advertising, right? It's all going to effectively start to be the same thing. Mostly though, what I experience is people frantically throwing ads out there as a last minute thing, throwing marketing out there, being like, they have the proverbial gun to the head, like, oh, I just got to launch. Oh, I just got to make 5 figures. I might have to make 6 figures. I got to make 7 figures. I got to pay, right? The pressure that replaces planning is always going to be the thing that pulls advertising apart and makes you really struggle with advertising from start to finish. So if you love to actually plan a trip, especially if you like to discover new things, if you like to go places and see new people and see different ways of doing things, even better, because the curiosity you have in your travels is the same thing that's going to pull you through all your marketing and advertising. That is the same thing as the curiosity you have for your audience, right? It's more power in your business and connecting with your audience rather than forcing people to take the offer that you have that may not hit the bullseye for them. To go back to that Target experience, expect more, pay less. Even though I like to say expect less, pay more, just because sometimes it's cute to be contrary. Okay, you will be good at advertising if you coast or find yourself slowing down driving towards red lights. What I really want to say is here, you do not accelerate towards red lights only to have to brake hard as you get close to the red light, especially when there's cars ahead. Now, this is true for pretty much anybody who drives, but I live in California and we have sun and we have long, wide open roads, and I live with desert vistas in the distance, and I see people all the time who are like, oh yeah, dude, aggro, adrenaline, and they are getting on a straightaway and they are zipping ahead and they are wasting so much gas in such a way that you know they have to brake so hard in order to stop themselves because they're approaching 6 cars at the stoplight. There's no way around it, right? There's no like, oh, we're going to go and maybe the light will change and I'll get there in time. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is wasting gas and wasting your brake pads and brake experience. I'm not saying that you need to be the most cautious, careful person when it comes to investing in the enjoyment of your drive. What I am saying is, if you find yourself naturally being that person where you look ahead, there's a little planning involved, where you look ahead, there's some strategy involved, and you see there's a red light and you see there's cars, and you choose not to hit the accelerator. You choose to coast and let your car do its thing and momentum carry you forward. You choose to let your vehicle even slow down in order that you can start to accelerate when the cars ahead of you are moving and the light has turned green. That means you're considerate. It means that you're aware of expense and investment. It means you have some ability to be strategic and plan to some degree. And it also means that you care about the money. You need to care about the money. Like I said, if you are someone who effortlessly makes in a different business and you're starting a new one, let's say, in a different business, you make 6 figures a day and you have all the money in the world and you can throw money at whatever you want to do. That's fine, right? This isn't for you. I'm going to assume that you don't have all the money in the world, right? Like that movie with the beautiful Michelle Williams. Oh, he has all the money in the world. Well, not everyone has all the money in the world. So I want you to be cost conscious. And if you know that you're someone who doesn't need the adrenaline, and more often than not, you will not need the aggressive experience of zipping towards the red light and braking hard, you may just be really good at advertising. Hey, it's Josh here. Are you finally ready for advertising that works every single time? If so, then download the 3 T's of great advertising right now. We're going to give you our simple 3-step system that quite literally works every time for ads that do the job time and again. And as well, we're also going to give you the 7 marketing must-haves. These are the main principles so you can get the absolute most out of your investment in any type of Facebook and Instagram ads and beyond. Don't hesitate. Let's get started today and make this super simple. It's certainly not rocket science, and there's no smoke and mirrors. Download it today at www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started. One more time, that's www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started. And we'll see ya on the other side. You will be really good at advertising if you really like to bake and you can truly follow a recipe and start to understand the patterns of it, but you can start to become, because you're so good at it, really flexible with the baking recipe, and you can customize it, and you can add fruit, and you can add nuts, and you could add chocolate, and you could add this and that, and you can make it savory, and you can put in cheese, and you can remove the cheese and the chocolate. You understand that's something different from cooking, right? It's a little bit of a reminder here. Baking is a separate skill than cooking. Cooking, you can throw stuff together and let's say 7 or 9 times out of 10, it's going to be pretty good. because there's not chemistry involved. It's not specific. The skills are quite a bit looser. With baking, on the other hand, the skills are specific. If you want a result and you want something that tastes amazing and looks attractive and beautiful, it doesn't need to be selling bakery quality. It doesn't need to be selling birthday cakes to your neighbors, family, friends, and local community. It just needs to be attractive because we eat with our eyes first, and it needs to ultimately taste really good. In baking, there are a series of specific skills to get you that result. And if some go wrong and you didn't use as much of this and you didn't bother warming the butter up and you didn't bring the eggs down to temperature and you didn't do it long enough and you did, right? If those things don't work, it's not going to taste good. It really probably is not going to look good, even if it tastes okay. Baking is a skill where it's about skill. But when you get good enough at baking that you can customize and you understand the patterns of why it works and how adding something will change something. If I'm going to add a lot of cheese, I'll remove the salt, or I'll put less salt in so the whole thing isn't too salty. If it's a basic recipe and I'm going to add cheese and olives and other salty things, I'm going to put less salt in at the start and definitely not use X, Y, or Z, right? You can actually be aware and make some sense of these things and think ahead. That means that you're probably going to be pretty good with ads. Why? You can follow a recipe and actually understand that there are skills and you're going to use those skills, but then you are flexible enough to actually want to play with it. The key here at the end of the day is planning and playfulness. If you have planning and playfulness, you actually can be really great at advertising. You can be great at advertising if you have planning and playfulness. If you have some interest in strategy and are aware that there is skill in strategy, and yet you like to be surprised. You want to be flexible. You have some flexibility, but discovery is really important. Those are the things that's going to pull you through to the other side. But even more, if we leave all of these really fun little comparisons aside, whether it's driving or baking or traveling or trip planning, at the end of the day, if you really care and you're curious about your audience, that is going to allow you to be much better, much faster at advertising, because it's going to remove you from this space of force. I need to force people to buy this, and what's wrong with them if they don't buy my offer, right? If you make an offer and people don't buy it, is there any part of you still that is in a space that it's really them and there's something wrong with them that they're not getting it? Because at the end of the day, it's a great time to remind you that every business has the beautiful experience of getting to find out what it is that their audience most wants and deliver that. It doesn't mean that you need to completely change what your offer is or what you do intrinsically inside your business. It just means that we need to start to marry or align or sync up what it is that you have to offer with exactly what your audience completely wants and is happy to actually exchange money for. That's what we're looking for. So if you're curious about your audience, if you're interested in what they want, and you want to get to know them just enough to give them truly what they want, that's how I really know that you will start to be great at advertising and using advertising in a way that is most effective in getting you results and cost effective at getting you the most results at the least cost, so that you don't have to just keep throwing money at a problem. That's something that very few people can do, and no one really wants to do at the end of the day, even if they can. So maybe you've been a little surprised today to find out that some things in your regular life that you're naturally good at are really going to make you naturally good at advertising. And that's the big takeaway here, that ultimately, the more you can align and sync up the things that you love to do day to day, the things that you love to do with your family, with your friends, around your house, in your community, the more you can connect those things to the reality of marketing and advertising and what it's really like, and carry that forward and offer that to your audience, that is what is going to ultimately make you really not just good at advertising, but truly great at advertising every time. Those are the keys to success today. So thank you for joining me here inside with Journey with Josh. I'm Josh Ubaldi. Please subscribe here, follow us here. Get some extra business coaching and marketing and advertising coaching over on our website, goldenringmarketing.com, and allow us come into the community. Let me answer your questions. Let me show you the proven strategies that we have to make ads work every time and to really bring your marketing to the next level so that you can get the most out of your advertising every single time. I do it for so many people in every different walk of life of business that there is and so many different audiences. There's just no good reason that ads can't work great for you. Ads do work, they can work great for you. And again, we're gonna make them work great and upgrade your marketing at the same time. I'll see you next time.